Hi everyone. My name is Donna Bennett and I'm a sales rep with AGvisorPRO. We're very excited to have you guys here with us and we got a great panel. First of all, we'd like to thank Iris and the whole Glacier Media team for putting on Advancing Women in Agriculture Conference. It's been a great event so far and I hope everybody's had a great day today. We'd like to start this roundtable with some introductions of the panel and then a short video and then a discussion on choosing family or career. Why not both? If anyone has any questions for us, for our group of panelists, please feel free to write that in the chat session and we'll be happy to direct your questions to the group of women. As I mentioned, my name is Donna and I grew up on a mixed farm in Alberta. And I went to the U of A and got my degree in agriculture there. And then I also studied business management at NAIT. I have 4 children and one adorable little grandchild now, a little granddaughter named Ava, who's 18 months old. And so I really enjoy her. And before joining AGvisorPRO as a sales rep, I've had a diverse experiences in business. I've been self-employed and I worked at a couple of dairies in Edmonton and also in pharmaceuticals and in media industries. So quite a variety. And a little fun fact about me is that I love art and I have a little art studio right in my backyard. So I'm very happy about that. That's my my little playhouse. But so anyways, Chantel, if you want to go next and then just share a little bit about what you do and maybe how many children you have and their ages and a fun fact about you. And then we'll go to Karen and then Lisa and Reagan. Take it away, Chantel.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chantel, but more commonly known as Mom. I grew up in a small town in Alberta, which most of you probably know as the home of the Sutters, so small town Viking. Agriculture is the backbone of my body growing up in a family ag retail business. And if I wasn't playing hockey, I was running the seed yard or I was in the tractor filling up the bins with fertilizer or hanging out with farmers. I then went on to get my marketing degree at the U of A, and I've spent the last 10 years marketing ag companies and building my family. So I have 2 little kids. Our son is 3 years old and our daughter is turning 2 next week. So a good COVID birthday. But since we're focusing on family and career for the next 30 minutes, I thought I'd share a fun fact about my family. And that is that our daughter was actually born with a surrogate. So it's been a really cool and unique experience and I've learned a lot, but that's enough about me. So Karen, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, I'm Karen Murray. I live on my husband's family farm down in Seven Persons, which is southern Alberta, Medicine Hat. I have a degree in agriculture as well, and I'm a certified crop advisor. I left ag retail my son is 11, so I left 11 and a half years ago to pursue creating a family and also started my own business at the same time, Karen Murray Ag Services. Fun fact about me would be that I was born and raised in England on a dairy farm. I moved to Canada with my parents and my brother to farm at Bicyger when I was 15 years old.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lisa Schmier, and I live Melfort, Saskatchewan, which is in the Northeast. My husband and I grain farm and cattle farm, as well as have off-farm jobs. So he's actually a Mountie with the RCMP, and I work as an advisor with Exceed Grain Marketing. We have 3 young children. My boys, Carter and Bryden, are 8 and 7, and my daughter, Parker, is 3. So we're pretty busy running with all 3 of those kids in different directions. Fun fact about me is I was born on Friday the 13th. So 13 has always been my lucky number.
Hi, everyone. I'm Reagan Ferguson. I'm from Melfort, Saskatchewan as well. I moved up here 10 years ago with my husband, and we've taken over the family farm, the 3rd generation. We have 3 kids, and they're 3, 2, and 5 months old. So they're keeping us busy. So I'm working from home with a little baby, and I came from a background at an egg retail. So I quit there after I had my first baby, and now I'm pursuing my own career as an advisor with Global Ag Risk Solutions.
Hey, that's awesome. A lot of kids between all of us, eh? So I believe, Chantel, you have a little video that you'd like to show.
So what's it like being a woman in agriculture?
I can think back 20 years ago when I first started into this, and I looked around at who was working there, and there was a lot of the females that were working in the industry were doing secretarial jobs and, you know, very basic jobs, and the bigger positions, the higher paying positions were all men. Now I can look back now and a lot has changed, and there's still room for improvement, definitely, but we are slowly making some gains with some of that.
Women in agriculture includes farmers' wives, anybody cooking dinners, looking after kids, up to, you know, people that have carried PhDs and carry a professional career. So women in agriculture really stretches quite substantially across the board.
I just think agriculture is so diverse that there are so many places that you can work and take your expertise. So for men and for women, but there's opportunities for both, as long as you're willing to work hard and put your heart into it.
We can offer a very different perspective on a lot of things that we're dealing with within the workforce or on the farm.
So what's not so good about being a woman in this sector?
I mean, 20 years ago when I was just starting out as an agronomist, I did feel like I had to prove myself and my knowledge more so than what a male counterpart would have to do.
I think the biggest thing is there's always a need to prove yourself, and you need to work twice as hard to maybe get half the amount of respect right off the hop.
So if it could be different, I would try and lessen the expectations for ourselves. It's really good to have high expectations, and it's really good to have goals, but it's also extremely important to take care of yourself and your mind. So being mindful of those expectations that you have for, you know, with your family, with your professional career.
I would say you do have to have a fairly thick skin to be able to take some of the jokes, because at the farmer level, it is male dominated, as you say. But again, that's really no different than, say, a female firefighter or a male nurse. You get past those things and do what you're good at.
I feel like growth opportunities are everywhere. It's basically what you limit yourself to is what's going to limit you on how far you can grow in the ag industry.
As I said, there's many opportunities. You don't have to think about agriculture as being, you know, the white picket fence and the pitchfork. Everybody's got a unique ability. Go towards that unique ability and don't even think about the gender part of it.
I think just don't be afraid to get your feet wet, your hands dirty, and dive in. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If it's something that interests you, look into it, try it out, experience it. There's so many people that get scared away by thinking that it's something that they can't do, and they're fully capable of doing it, and they just need to try it.
So thank you to everybody joining us today. I think we have a really great panel of women that we're going to have an awesome conversation about the challenges that we have in agriculture, as well as the importance of having women in culture and how we're making a difference. So let's get started.
Okay, let's get started. So many women are forced to choose family over work during their most productive years of their life. And all three of you guys have been very successful business women and great mothers. Obviously, what works for one person and one family doesn't always work for another. How would you choose your family or career, or how do you choose? And can you do both? Let's start with Lisa and then Reagan and Karen.
I think that 100% you can do both. But I think there's two things that are really important to being able to do that. One is flexibility within your job. And for me, that meant that I couldn't do a 9-to-5 job, and I needed a job that I could work the hours that I needed around what was going on with our farm, with our kids, and just everything else in general. So flexibility was huge to be able to manage both. And then I think that the other side of it is everybody needs a tribe, somebody that you can count on, or a group of people you can count on to help you out, especially with the kids. So friends who can get your kids to hockey practice and back if you're tied up with something. Family who will look after kids, you know, on the weekends when you have farm stuff going on, or a babysitter who's very, very important, who can take your kids at 7 o'clock in the morning or pick them up at 6 o'clock at night, because sometimes that's the hours that the farm seems to run, probably even longer than that. But those are the people that you need to help you out to get the job done.
Right, right.
I agree with lots of Lisa's remarks. You need those people that are they're willing to help, and when you tell yourself that you have too much going on, or you can't get what you need to get done, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask. You know, hiring out things in your home, house cleaners, or, you know, harvest time, maybe getting somebody to a couple times a week make a meal from the restaurant or something. Managing those expectations and to free up that time with your family is huge. So
Yep, I agree with everybody. I mean, you can absolutely have both, but you have to understand what the consequences of having both are. You always feel guilty that you're either doing too much work and not enough family, or too much family and not enough work. There isn't really a balance. It's not really possible, but it's understanding that and having the support around you that I am trying to do both here. So let's make both work.
So what are some of the things that each of you does or can do to manage stress and take care of yourself, to have some more work-life balance? And Reagan, we'll start with you, because you kind of mentioned hiring out some people, or maybe some takeout meals, and then we'll go to Karen and Lisa.
okay. Yeah, I have been really hard on myself for trying to be the person that does everything. So I've got a very supportive husband who farms and also has a job. So he's very quick to tell me that, you know, you need to settle down and you need to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So he helps me be mindful of that. So it helps me to, when I'm feeling stressed, write lists out, take something that's this big and maybe make it into 5 different parts so that it is manageable. I work in the office a lot, so going outside for 5 minutes, getting a breath of fresh air can really lift a person's spirits up when you are feeling a little bit overworked. Feel good music. I'm the type of person, if I need a little lift up, I crank the music in the house and I maybe dance around for 5 minutes. And so, you know, just little things I try to lighten up the mood when I do start feeling that I'm maybe getting too stressed out. So I need to take care of myself and give my mind a little bit of a break.
That's awesome.
For me, I'm a really social person, so my friends play a huge role in my stress decompression time. One of my really good friends, we both love to kayak, and they run a business too, so it's kind of, we need to go kayaking. So if whoever calls the kayak session, we know that person just needs to vent, and you need to discuss something, or even just absolutely vent, get it off your chest, and then keep going. It's active, it's outside, it's just relieves the stress. You've got it out, and then keep going.
Awesome. And what about you, Lisa?
Well, I'm kind of the same way. I think for me, I'm a fair weather runner. So in the, in summer, fall, spring, when the weather's good, I love to be outside and get that fresh air and run. And then in the wintertime when I'm inside, then, I can do some stuff inside to work out. But there's something to be said about fresh air for sure that changes your whole mindset about things, and just walking away from things for a few minutes and coming back. And in saying that, one of my favorite things to do is just going out to the pasture and dead silence. I don't take the kids, I don't take anybody with me, and just sit and just listen to the quiet and just enjoy that. And sometimes all it takes is a few minutes of that, and then you can just reset, come back, and then start again.
Yeah, it's amazing how fresh air can help you so much.
Mhm.
So I know time management is a big struggle in agriculture, especially in busy season. Seems like there's never enough hours in a day or energy to get everything done. And I know as women, myself included, we tend to put a lot of pressure and high expectations on ourselves to get everything done, working, taking care of the family, doing laundry, cooking, cleaning, taking kids to school, sporting events, like the list never ends, right? And I'm totally guilty of this. So how are you guys able to manage, or maybe even integrate, your family and your kids into your daily working schedule? So maybe we'll start with you, Karen.
Well, I was going to joke that my office is literally 10 steps away from my kitchen, so you don't really get much more integrated than that. But two things really. I've scheduled or designed my business around being busy at the opposite times to when my husband is busy. So he farms full time. So when he is, spring seeding, I'm starting to wind down, or at least do jobs where I'm more home, not at the client's kitchen table. So during the summer, my business is quieter and I can spend more time with the kids and do what they need to do. In the winter, when his job is quieter, don't get me wrong, he doesn't take the lead role on the kids. That still falls on me, but it's still, he is able to right now have them out in the shop while I'm on this call and do those kind of things in conjunction with what I'm trying to do. So we're getting both things done. The other thing is involving the kids. My kids, I have two, a boy and a girl, who are 11 and 9. And we take them with us. If I've got fields to check, they're coming with us. If every night during the summer we have irrigation, so we've got to go check pivots, we load up the quads, dirt bikes, whatever, get in the truck, and we, all 4 of us, go. Sometimes the kids jump in the canal if it's hot. It's a good time. It's getting them to understand what we're doing is important. We're showing them that we're working hard.
Yeah, and they probably love it. So what about you, Lisa?
It's very much the same way. Anything that we can use to integrate in what we need to do on the farm that we can have the kids involved with. And so I've said it before, but you throw the kids in the truck, just like Karen said, and you go crop checking, or you go and check the cows, and you kind of kill 2 birds with one stone, and they love it. And you put them in the back of the truck box and drive through the pasture, and they think it's fun, and you're actually getting some work done. So it's just little things like that. Even for me, with working from home myself, I can sit on a conference call and I can fold a load of laundry, and I can get 2 things accomplished at once. And so it's little things where you can kind of pick and choose and put them together and try and get them all done at once. And obviously you don't win it all, and there's going to be busy seasons for everybody at the same time, and you just have to let something go to be able to come back and then you pick up where you left off. But it's never 100% perfect. It's always a work in progress, but you just pick away at things.
Yeah. And what about you, Regan?
Yeah, I agree. It's very similar situations, right? If you involve them, other things that we've been trying, even though our kids are very little, trying to instill work conduct around the house with them, right? So, making the kids accountable to picking up their laundry, putting their dishes away after supper. That's one last thing that I have to chase after, and we can teach them to do those things when they're little, then hopefully it helps the person out later on. So
Yeah, for sure. So as a woman in agriculture, what have you accomplished that you're particularly proud of, or what sparks the most joy in your life right now? We'll start with Lisa, then Karen, and Regan.
For myself, I guess I'm really proud of where I'm at right now. It took me a long time to get to this point. I started out trying to figure out what I wanted to do in high school and looked at what there was in agriculture, and I didn't see a job that fit for me. And of course, we didn't have a guidance counselor. We were handed a book and said, pick a career. And I had no idea. I knew I loved agriculture. I knew I didn't like science things. So agronomy and those sorts of things were out. What do I do? And so I actually got my education degree and found out that my heart wasn't there and started taking classes by correspondence to get my ag diploma. So I feel like I was really self-learned to get to this point. And I started 4 years after I started teaching. I was finally done with teaching and got into the grain industry and kind of haven't looked back. And so I feel like I had to do it on my own because I wanted to do it. And there was nobody, I didn't have the schooling behind me necessarily, but I did it because this is where my heart was. So I'm really proud of that. And I love the fact that my kids love farming as much as I do. And I love that when we're doing farm things, they see me as a farmer. So they'll say, well, that's mom's tractor that she drives when she's baling, or that's mom's tractor that she uses when we're silaging, or whatever it is. And it's not just a guy thing or a dad thing. It's mom does this and dad does that. And I think that's pretty cool that they recognize that without even knowing it necessarily.
Cool. That's pretty cool. So for me, what I'm proud of would be that I own my own business. I run my own business 100%, not by myself. I mean, it takes a community, but I absolutely am totally proud that I have built this. It's so far successful. It hasn't collapsed yet, and it's going to go, I hope, for a while. My daughter wants to come in, she's only 9, but she wants to do what I do. So that's pretty proud that she wants to do that. When they see me work hard, especially when they're off school in COVID, Mom, it's like all you do is work. It's like, yeah, this is what I do when you're not home. I actually, when you're at school, I'm working. And I don't regret showing them that I work hard, that Dad works hard. I think it's a great character building thing for them. Yeah, the reason that we get to do the fun things that we do is because Mom and Dad work really hard and have passion for what we do and are successful. That's an ultimately wonderful life lesson. Having said that, you also asked what brings us joy in our lives right now. I know I'm supposed to say that it's, my son and his 4-H calf, or my daughter flipping around doing gymnastics, but I started playing pickleball, and it's just for me, and it's great to be part of the team, and I love it, and that's what's bringing me joy, even though we're shut down for COVID right now.
So one of my biggest accomplishments was taking the leap of faith when I was working full-time as an agronomist for a retail here. And I was worried about the hours and the flexibility and having all of those times overlap with the farm's times, the busy altogether. I went into complete meltdown mode. So we had to figure out something to make something work. And that was when we came up with the idea that maybe I leave the job and try and start doing something on my own. And it has been the best thing I've ever done. Even if a person, money isn't everything, and that was something that I had to let go. And when I get to enjoy the summers with my kids at the lake, and I still get to take a phone call and talk to my customers when I'm at the lake, or just get to go away for the weekend to my parents' place or something like that. It's every time I get to do that, I always think back to myself how thankful I am for what I have, and just keeping that thankfulness there and remembering where I came from, what decisions I had to do. It really pushes it home for myself all the time that, this is the right thing that I'm doing. And especially now getting to spend the time when I want to do it with my kids is extremely special.
Yeah, that is really cool. So there's a comment in the Q&A that actually kind of ties into my next question about kind of balancing out or navigating your life with your family. And obviously I am a young mom and I'm still trying to figure out my work-life balance. So are there any tips that you guys can share with me and all the other women watching right now on how you balance both raising kids and having a career? And I know you've touched on it a bit, but is there kind of like one or two short tips that you can give us? And we'll go Regan, Karen, and then Lisa.
So I had 4 things that I think are essential, I guess, for trying to balance life with working and having kids. And one is, we've already touched on many of them. It's have a schedule, stay organized, ask for help when you need it, and think ahead so that you can plan for maybe what's going to be coming down the pipe in a week or even tomorrow, what's going to happen. So sitting down and having those meetings with even with your husband every night or in the morning, you know, this is my goal, this is what I need to get done today. How can we make our 2 schedules jive so that, we can stay in harmony, I guess, is basically is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we've already kind of touched on it, but giving yourself a break, and I'm very guilty of this myself. I don't, but just, it's okay that you are going to drop the ball somewhere, and that's okay. We all do. So giving yourself a break and allowing that to just roll off. And also, what's the desired end result? Maybe something doesn't go exactly how you thought it would with your kids, which, having babies, it never goes the way you think it's going to go. So what's the end result? What in the end, what do I want to accomplish with this? Or where I want a happy, healthy child? Is that a step towards that? Yes, it is. Okay, great. Then it's good. It's good enough.
And I think, like Karen said before, you got work, kids. It's not a balance, it's a teeter-totter. And it's going to go back and forth, and something has to give to make the other side of it work, and then you balance it back around. And so there's a busy time for the farm, there's a busy time for kids, and you just have to make that work as best you can in every individual case. But I think, like Regan said too, to have a schedule, to have a list of what's going on and where you're going, and know what's going to happen, and work around the changes. There's always some surprises that kind of pop up, but at least you have a plan to start with. And accept help too, right? If somebody can help you get kids places or run a couple errands for you or whatever it happens to be, take it and run, and cross that off your list for that day, because it's done.
Oh, I guess I'll go next. So for women in agriculture, AGvisorPRO can solve one of your most critical needs, which is how to get answers now to solve problems. We discussed flexibility and time management and how it's so important when you're balancing your family and your career. And on the AGvisorPRO platform, people can connect to knowledgeable women in business, and they can be on the farm without actually being on the farm. The AGvisorPRO app is free to download on your iPhone, your Android, your desktop, and you can connect with video, audio, chat, and HD pictures. And the sessions are recorded, so you can reference them later and review the answers to to the advice you received or any information you were given. So I just wanted to throw this out there. How is AGvisorPRO helping you manage your time or supporting your customers and freeing up time for your family? And we'll start with maybe Karen, and then Regan and Lisa, please.
Yeah, so being on AGvisorPRO is brand new to me. So I'm looking forward to the opportunity to touch base with people. Obviously, technology is a part of our world, more so now than ever. So it's an exciting thing to just at our fingertips to be able to talk to people from all over Canada, which is pretty cool.
Thanks.
I love the idea behind AGvisorPRO. I like the chance to be able to schedule calls when it works with my schedule, and being able to connect with growers that you probably wouldn't have had the chance of connecting prior to that. So I think it opens up a lot of potential and a lot of doors.
And I think I mean, the last few months with COVID and everything that's been happening, we're more restricted to staying put. And so this is a really good opportunity for people to do those connections via technology, face to face, or, you know, via phone call or whatever is kind of set up. And for Mr. Farmer or Mrs. Farmer to make those connections and ask the questions that they need and find the right people that they need to do the job and get the answers they need for their farm.
Chantel and I would really like to thank all three of our panel guests for being on the roundtable sessions today, and everybody in the audience who participated. I know we have some questions, and there's been a lot of chat comments. I wish we had more time, but please feel free to connect with all the ladies on the AGvisorPRO platform, and it's free to download. So go